Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Conversation with Friends. My guests this evening are Cara Schopplein and George Schopplein. Now, I always, there's never any rhyme or reason as to how I put names when there's two people on the show. But tonight, I'm putting Cara first because George is usually the more boisterous of the two of this couple. And we see him, for those of you who know George, on Facebook, you see him quite often. And he's, as my father would say, he's full of piss and vinegar. There is nothing stopping him. When he has something to say, he says it, and he's always very polite about it. You know, I don't think I've actually ever heard him cuss. But maybe I blocked him out on that. So, a little bit, okay. I'm going to start with Cara. Cara, could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Cara Schopplein. I am a Lightworker and a paranormal investigator. And I also make healing jewelry. I don't know what else you want me to say about myself.
And you have the great privilege of being married to George. How long have you guys been married?
We have been married for 27 years.
Good God, woman, you deserve a medal and a monument.
Yeah, we've been through a lot of stuff, you know, but we have actually never been happier than we have been these last few years. So, you know, it's a lot of work. I like to let him think he's in charge most of the time when he really knows he's not.
They know.
But yeah, it's been a fun roller coaster ride. We've actually been together for 31 years. So it's quite a long time.
And how did you meet George? We're talking about him like he's biting his tongue. Shh, George.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
I am.
Cara, how did you meet George?
So George and I went to the same high school. He was a senior when I was a freshman. I actually didn't really meet him until I had graduated, and right after I turned 18, my friend and I went to an 18 and over nightclub, and my friend and I were there together, and there was a couple guys bothering us, and we happened to see George and his friends who my friend knew, so we went over there to talk to them, and I asked him if he could pretend to be my boyfriend because these other guys were bothering us. And here we are, 31 years later.
No more pretending. Yay, it's very cute. Okay, George, it's your turn. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, dear.
Okay. Hi, how are you guys? My name is George Schopplein, and as Cara says, I'll tell you about me because I'll try not to get tongue-tied, but I've been a paranormal investigator approximately 10 years, and I'm actually a cancer survivor, which is actually something that's really given me all my positive, my talks and how I talk to people is I try to keep positive with everybody. I guess to tell yourself about me is you'll never see me in a dull situation where I will bring any type of negativity. And what I mean by that is I always find the good in the bad. Always. And I guess I'm at an advantage more so than Cara or maybe many people out there, and anybody that's a cancer survivor, you become a different person. I was given 18 years ago, I was given like 6 months to really understand if I'm going to be here or not. I had squamous cell carcinoma, which is it's a real tough skin cancer that was near my glands. And I guess, you know, when they gave me that 6 month live, I was either going to be suicidal or I was just going to like live my life to the fullest. And during that time of that 6 months, and I'm counting the days, and I'm like, oh God, now it's 7 months and 9 months, and we're talking 18 years later. They gave me that 6 months that, this is either you're going to be here or you're not. And, all I can say to that is who I am. And every day, I just respect life. And you know what? If anything at all, when you get out of bed, you open your eyes are wide open. You're able to see who's next to you, or you can actually see the ceiling or where you're going. It's, it's just another day on this planet. And that's my motivation is, oh my gosh, I'm given another day. And, that is everything about me right there.
In a nutshell. Okay, well, I'm hopefully that everybody can hear us in the chat room because, I don't know, it's quiet in there for the moment, but it's okay. 18 years ago, they told you had 6 months to live?
18 years ago, yeah, yes, they said within 6 months, it depends because the cancer was so close to my glands that it was like literally scraping it, I guess. And what I'm getting at is they said in 6 months, either it is in your glands and there's nothing we can do. It was just going to be one of those situations where in 6 months we'll know if you're going to be here or not. The wordings from my doctor at that time, Dr. Klingman, was I was just given 6 months. In 6 months we'll know where you're going to be. And after 6 months, it turned into 18 years of being a cancer survivor. So that's where I'm at to this day, yes. And I'm still counting every day, every year.
Well, why not? You kicked cancer's butt.
Yes, I did.
And you did it with a bunch of positivity, so why not? And I think that's what is important for those people who are given that kind of diagnosis. You have to decide whether you want to, sit there and just wait or kick ass and take names along the ride.
And, that's where, and that, in the beginning, I was not that person. I was making deals with the man upstairs. I was making deals. I was trying, whatever, I want to see my kids get married. I was making all these deals. And, that was my first thing to start doing. At least give me this or give me that. And, after all that, it's just, now, like I said, it's just, you just get to a point where you just take, like you said, you just fight now. Now you're a warrior. And now you keep fighting and you keep fighting and you never stop fighting. And that's where I'm at to this day.
Very cool. So, Cara, when did you first realize your gifts, abilities?
Well, I've always believed in spirits. I saw my first full body apparition when I was between 10 and 12 years old. So I've always, believed in the paranormal and everything. I didn't really realize my gifts until we had a lot of activity in our own home. We have kind of a crazy story how we got into the paranormal. So, George, he'll tell you later. He's always had abilities, but he kind of ignored them because of his upbringing and such. And when our youngest daughter, who is now 24, when she was about to turn 18, we had some interesting things happen. And we've always kind of had, unexplainable things happen, but we always kind of brushed it off. And then one day I was, in the morning I was getting ready for work, and George and our older daughter had already left for the day. And I noticed that our girls' bedroom doors were open. So I thought our daughter Caitlin was up getting ready for school. So I went down there. She wasn't down there. I closed the doors. I went downstairs, got my coffee, came back up. The doors were still closed, and I went into our bedroom, and our Caitlin was sleeping on our couch in our room. And she always does that when she gets really bad anxieties, because she has abilities too, but she doesn't she just kind of ignores them. So she gets a lot of anxiety. And so whenever she would get scared or something, she would come and sleep in our room. And so she was still sleeping. And I started getting ready for work, and I hear a door open, and I look down the hall, and her bedroom door was open. So I thought she was up, but she was still sleeping. So I kind of randomly posted on Facebook, like, oh, doors are opening and closing by themselves in our house. Well, a lady that I knew through work, she contacted me and she said, oh, you know, I could do a remote reading and find out what's there. And I was like, what the heck is that? I don't know what a remote reading is. But I was like, well, okay, fine, whatever. I didn't give her any information about anything. And she told me that we had 2 little ghost spirits in our house that were victims of some serial killers that had been in our area. They had murdered their whole entire family. And that these 2 little girls had attached themselves to our daughter Caitlin when she had been in elementary school and had been with her this whole entire time, which kind of made sense because we'd always had stuff going on, but we kind of brushed it aside. But now that she was about to turn 18, these 2 little girls were like, what's going on? Like, where are all the toys? And, you know, because they were about 7. I think the oldest one was 7, and then the younger one was about around 5. And at the time, I had been running an in-home daycare, so we had lots of kids and toys in the house. So they, you know, they were loving it because they didn't have that when they were alive. So, you know, they were enjoying everything. And they had been with us, we figured, for about 10 years. And so Caitlin was about to turn 18, and our older daughter was 20, so there were no more toys, there were no more kids, and so they started making themselves known. They started, you know, they opened the doors, and they started hiding things. So our friend was like, well, you know, we can help you, you know, help them move into the light. So, and George, this whole time, he didn't believe in any of this stuff. He was just like, you know what, you guys do what you gotta do. I'm going to leave. Like, this stuff is a bunch of mumbo jumbo. So, you know, we helped him move into the light. Well, before that happened, he actually saw one of the little girls, and it really freaked him out. He was like, oh my God, I see a little girl standing in our hallway. She has blonde ponytails and a blue dress on. And he got really, really emotional. And that, I think, is really when he figured out that he could not ignore his abilities any longer. So after that happened, it was just kind of like a floodgate. He would see stuff all the time in our house. We had a friend who was an energy healer. We had her on speed dial. And like every day there was something going on, and he was seeing spirits. And so our friend Julie, who was an energy healer, she actually helped me realize my abilities and that I could actually help these spirits, you know, instead of calling her all the time. So she taught me, you know, how to do it. And so I was able to help them. And, so now we have decided, you know, that, excuse me, now that we've learned how to help these troubled spirits, you know, we're going to use our abilities to help others also. And so George, he's, you know, been working on his abilities. He can do some things that blow my mind. But that's kind of where we are at now, and that's how it kind of all came about. I don't know if he wants to tell you his experiences.
Oh yeah, it's George's turn now. George, when
go ahead.
Okay, since you sort of squashed your abilities, what was the first time that you can remember something before the little girls?
Oh, well, when I was a child, back in South San Francisco where I used to live, I grew up in a Catholic family, of course. Well, not of course, in a Catholic family, and it was something we just never chatted about. But my grandmother, my mom's side, from Palermo in Italy, she did her touching in so-called, let's say, witchcraft, and she would do like reading tea or tea, I guess, when you the tea grounds, and also really, yes, And during that time, back then, my grandmother, at that time, when I was probably 10, 11 years old, she was always trying to help me along the way, I think, saying that, you have, it wasn't so much, gifts. It was like you have abilities. But this was so long ago. And my mother, her daughter, my mom, we didn't allow it. So my mother and her mom didn't talk for many, 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 many years. They had a bad relationship, not because of that, but it was not helping. It wasn't helping because my grandmother at the time was trying to really just, just trying to introduce me to stuff, and also my sister. But my sister, she doesn't remember, and it just came to a halt. But that was probably my very first time was seeing my first ghost, I guess you would say, in South San Francisco at our house in South City when I was a child, a very young child. But it only happened one time. And I feel what happened to me is now we're going to go ahead about, so many years, is when I went through radiation, and I had probably a good 3 to 4, probably 2, I think, grand mal seizures. And during that time, I do feel during the radiation that most of the radiation was concentrated in my brain area. I do feel to this day the reason why it is kind of like a light switch. My wife always says, "Oh, let's do this, let's do this." Wait, it doesn't work like that. It's like a light switch. I really have to concentrate. I really have to give my own little bubble. Yeah. And I do feel to this day I'm at an advantage to some people. Because some people are like, "Oh no, you didn't see this. Oh no, you're faking it," or whatever it may be. I do feel that because of the seizures and the radiation, I do think I opened something up that we all have the ability to be psychic. So we all have the abilities to see paranormal or even talk to the other side of the veil. I just feel that, I'm just at an advantage because of what I had to deal with in my past in the last 18 years ago. And I do feel that when it came to radiation and having seizures, I do feel that I opened a door and I'm able to do some of the things that blow me away too.
Understand that. Every time I open the chat room, I can't see. Well, just a quick hello to people in the chat room. We have Jackie and Brian. Hi, guys. And we've had a few guests popping in and out. One thing, guys, if you want to type in the chat room, you have to sign up to IntuiTalks. It's a safe place. You may never come back, but 10 to 1, you'll come back because we're a nice place to visit. So, if you want to chat in the chat room, you have to sign up with IntuiTalks.com. Okay. One of the things in your bio, you had a near-death experience. Was that with the grand mal seizures?
With that? You broke up.
Okay. In your bio, one of the things you wrote was that you had a near-death experience. Was that when you had the grand mal seizures?
Yes. Yes. What I called near-death experience was I was adjusting myself to die. And during that time, you're given from a doctor, like, you have 6 months or the 6 months is going to be either sink or swim. I was adjusting myself to die. I was adjusting myself like I'm going to die. And that was within the first few months. I was setting myself up to die. And that's where the near-death experience, that's my near-death. It was just setting myself up to move on. Because, someone, telling you that, hey, 6 months, it's not something you want to hear.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Well, I wouldn't be able to because I've been to both places and neither place wants me there, so I'm here for an eternity.
Right.
Now, you guys do investigations as a team. Do you also work with other people?
Go ahead, Karen.
We do. So we have been a part of a couple of teams, and we've decided that we are better with just the two of us. That way we can choose who we work with, because unfortunately we have found out the hard way there's a lot of competition and jealousy in the paranormal community. There's a lot of people that provoke or are disrespectful to spirits, and we are none of that. And so we like to work with people that have the same beliefs as we do, because we are firm believers, and what you put out is what you're going to attract. So if you're a negative person and you come into an investigation negative, that's exactly what you're going to attract. If you come in positive, you're going to attract, the positive spirits. So we don't like to work with anybody who is negative or disrespectful or any of that. So we do work with other people. We are very selective on who we work with. So, that's why we've decided just to keep our team, as you say, is George and I. And then that way we have the ability to choose who we work with, because, a lot of times when you're on a team, like, you have to work, there's people you have to work with that you don't agree with, or, or do things completely in a way that you don't, approve of.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go off and venture off and investigate with others, then like the other team members get jealous. So, we don't want any of that, because that really draws away from the reason we do what we do. So we just want to keep everything positive, and so that's why we work just the two of us, but we do also work with others at times.
And, if I can interject really quick, I apologize about Mama D. I actually enjoy working with people. I like people. I mean, I'm a people person. I would rather work with a bunch of people if I could, but I think, and as Cara said, she's absolutely right. We're on our own journey, and you know what, we go out to paranormal investigate. Some people will go, and you'll have people that drink or they do whatever they want to do. But not the problem, but, when you come to investigations, you have to take it serious. And, maybe sometimes I'm a little too serious, but if I'm going to go out to investigate and I'm going to try to talk to a spirit, I'm actually, I want to give them full respect. And if I feel that I'm at an investigation and I'm getting drawn or pulled someplace else or another room, I want to be able to walk down or go wherever I want to go to where I'm being pulled. But what happens is when you investigate with other people that we don't know or whatever it may be, they may have different journeys than my journey or Cara's journey. And the problem that we've had, and I'm not perfect, Cara's not perfect when it comes to investigation, because any investigation you go to, any building or any cemetery or whatever you choose to do, every location you go to, it's a new location. And there's nobody out there that it's always going to be new things you're going to run into. And what I'm trying to say is when you go to investigations, every investigation is different, and you got to be in control, because anything can happen. And the more people you involve, which now I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, is I like to investigate with a bunch of people if I could, but I think you have to be really picky into whom you find to investigate with, because people have different journees. And my journey is different compared to, I don't know, Cara's journey, but we work we work great together. Cara knows when I have an attachment. I've had a few attachments, and Cara's had a major attachment. We were at the Goldfield Hotel, but I know what to look for, and she knows what to look for when you can tell that your husband or your wife is not who that person, that's not your husband or that's not your wife.
Exactly.
So, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it does. Because you guys have been together long enough. If a couple has been together long enough, they know exactly, like you said, when something's just not right. And
exactly.
Also you'll know that you'll be able to say, Carol will be able to say, George, hello.
Yeah, exactly.
And vice versa. If George stops talking about sprinkles, then something's really wrong.
Exactly. That's so true.
If that happens, I'm going to have a hissy fit. You guys have a bucket list, a place that you want to go, like that. I mean, I've heard, I don't do investigations. I've never been on one, I have a feeling that I'd be the one screaming. Well, I've just reopened up to who I am from 2012. So paranormal investigation, I've watched it on TV. I've watched, my friends that do investigations that allow the Facebook Live to happen. I've watched it, and I think it's like totally interesting. And I do get some things from all the way up here in Canada, but I'm doing it from a safe zone. Spirit and me, I know that there's spirit out there. I know everything, but it takes a lot to scare me. People at my job, my regular day job, they do try and do this, and it's like, even customers will come in and try and scare me, and I'll turn around and go, yeah, nope. No. But I've never been on one, but a lot of people name different places, but is there one place that the two of you sit there and go, okay, if that ever comes up, we're there? Like, is there a castle over in Ireland or something that's just that one thing, one place?
Well, I know Cara's going to say it, so I'm going to let my wife speak, and I don't...
Hello? Okay. Well, we were supposed to go this year, but I think it's going to be next year, but we are really excited to go to Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Okay.
So that's a pretty big place. We know people that have been there, and we've seen some stuff. So we are really excited to go there. There's a lot of, this year we want to start getting out and going because we kind of just been staying in our area. We live in Northern California, so we go to a lot of places around here and then also in Nevada. But we want to start venturing out more to visit a lot of our, friends that are on Facebook in different parts of the world. So this year, we want to start getting out there and, visiting people. So there's a lot of places that we want to go see, but I think the big one is Waverly Hills. Is that the same one you were going to say, George?
He muted himself.
George?
Hold on. I just unmuted him. Yeah, okay, you muted yourself.
Did you mute me?
I didn't. I swear to goodness I didn't. I have a feeling I know who did, but it wasn't me.
Oh my goodness. Yes, honey, yeah. Waverly is exactly where I want to go. I like, but for me is Waverly, yeah, 100%. But I'm so drawn or whatever it may be, but I love haunted or whatever jail cells. I love I just love the when I see stuff on Facebook and people are like a jail cell or something like that. I just love jail cells. They have so much potential of investigation. There's so much energy and negativity too, of course, but oh my God. Waverly is it, Cara. I apologize. Hopefully you heard me.
Yes, we did. Eric Glynn in the chat room says, come to Chillingham Castle in the UK. It's the most haunted castle in the UK. So
I would love to. Well, we got invited to go. We get invited, we get invited all the time to go places, but, these places are, to where we're at in California, to just jump on a plane. It's so expensive, to go anywhere. But UK would be, oh my gosh, that would be numero uno also, because they have so much history. And that's one thing about Paranormal Investigator, and as well as Cara, you gotta love history. If you don't love history, then what are you doing? You can't just do it. The history alone is, when you see pictures and old black and whites to, like from the 1700s, and you can actually look at that picture and almost put yourself there, or know the history to what exactly happened to this building or this field. It just gives it more you know what? It adds the sprinkles. You know what? It adds the sprinkles. There you go. I knew I'd throw that in there. But when you got history, let's get some sprinkles on that, because then it's not about investigation. It's about, oh God, I want to know about the history. And, history. I used to hate history, back in school, but now I love history.
Well, I think if they taught history in schools with the idea of what the connections are and the connected to the kids with that, then I think kids would love history again. I didn't.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. One thing I like to do before we go on an investigation to a historical location is I like to do research, and George doesn't like to know anything about the location before we go, but I like to do research to find out, about its past. And then I also like to find an item from that place that we're going, and bring it and use it as a trigger object. Like when we went to the Goldfield Hotel, I found an old hotel bell, like a desk bell. And
Okay.
I bought that. And then we also, when we stayed in Tonopah at a place called the Mitzpah Hotel, and I found an old poker chip or a casino chip from the Mitzpah Casino, and I brought that with us to use as a trigger object. So, I kind of like to find items from the area, we recently went to Preston Castle, and I found an old, wanted poster of a boy that had escaped from there, and it had his picture and his name and all this information about him, and we brought that to Preston Castle to use as a trigger object. So I like to do things like that to just kind of, hopefully help the spirits, want to communicate with us a little bit easier.
That sounds wild. Eric in the chat room said Chillingham Castle is from the 12th century with dungeons and slaughter sites and banqueting halls.
Ooh,
Oh God!
Right
there. I'll tell you that. Let's go now, because that right there is something. Watch this. That just sounds so dang yummy. I mean, just to go would be just. See, the words I come up with. I'm not a normal paranormal investigator. I will come up with words like, "Oh my God, that place was like cotton candy. It was so good," But you know what? You got to have fun. But I would love to go to a place like that. I mean, I want to get scared. I bet you it's beautiful too. So.
Well, Eric, if you have a picture, you can pop it into the chat room. They can't see the chat room right now, but I'll make sure that I'll share it with them later. But yeah, I think that what I like, the first time I saw you guys, actually the first time I heard George.
Of course.
Everybody hears George. There was something that you had said on a Facebook Live that somebody was being, putting it nicely, a bonehead, and they were, just talking nothing but smack, and you were just like, no, it's fine. Talk all the shit you want. Excuse my language. I'm gonna have to put money in the spread jar. You can talk all the smack you want, and it's not going to change the way I see things. You see things, you find things that are good. And that's what I like to do as well. Somebody will find that negative in I always use this good friend of mine as an example. My friend Damon, he's down in New Zealand, and he got cancer and he had to stop working so they could go through all the treatments and whatnot. And he never in his life picked up, he's a healer, but he'd never picked up a pen or a paintbrush or anything. But when he had to stop working, he had to, find something to fill his time. And he started painting. It was okay, but then he picked up a pencil and pens and he started sketching. And now he does the most amazing drawings, most amazing sketches. And I said, that's his silver lining. He wouldn't have, if he had never found out that he had cancer, he would have just continued, going to work every day and, doing his everyday life and still doing his healing, but he wouldn't have stopped to pick up a pencil. So there's that silver lining. He is an amazing, his talent is just awesome. I've been lucky enough. He sent me 2 pictures of butterflies. His first butterfly was kind of sort of pitiful, looked like a fat little moth, but I still wanted it. And he's improving, and I love to see that he's found that light, that silver lining. So you always do that. No matter how much yuck that goes on out there, whenever I see you, you're always positive. And there's a young man here in my little town who has his moments where he's like, ugh. And I said, please follow this man. Listen to what he says. Just, you don't have to, agree with everything, but the energy that you put into stuff, Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. And like the gentleman that you just talked about cancer. Bottom line, I know cancer sucks, okay? But every day we are dealt with something. It doesn't have to be something that's going to be so like life changing, or it can be life changing. But just like at a stoplight, there's a reason why you hit the red light. Don't get mad. Just call that me time. And sometimes when you always make that left turn to go to work, change your route, make a right turn. I just don't like I don't like negativity. I've been beat up a few times on Facebook, on the paranormal. The paranormal can be very nasty.
Every community has been getting that lately, but yeah, I understand.
What's that?
I said I think every community in the light working field, whether it's paranormal, psychics, mediums, they've been going through a lot of, if the end of 2018, I'm sorry, I'm quite glad to see 2018 gone bye-bye. 2019 is going to be so much better.
Oh yeah, it was really bad. 2018 and the last 4 months of it, I think everybody was feeling all this. Something was going on in the atmosphere, and not everybody, but even the news. What I'm trying to get at, there was a lot of negative, a lot of anger, a lot of fighting, a lot of people just being angry and just being angry, and it was actually too much. I didn't understand what was going on, and people were agreeing that something was going on with with the line of the stars or the moon or the red moon or whatever it may have been. But I think we all dealt with something in 2018, and you know what? I'm hoping 2019, and so far so good. But I hope that there's more love and respect for one another, and we all just like work together in any field that you want to. If it's chasing Bigfoots to finding the best sprinkles on your donut, at least work together. You know what I'm saying? Just work together, and because 50 years from now, 100 years, let's just call it 100 years, none of us are going to be here. That's a fact.
I will. I will.
You will, because you're a butterfly. Butterflies live forever.
I don't know about forever, but I'll be around. I'll be haunting people if I have to.
There you go.
Well, Eric just put a picture of Chillingham Castle into the chat room, so, I like this one.
I can't wait to look back on it. If there's a way that we can see this stuff later on after the show.
I will save the image and send it to you guys.
Awesome.
Oops. Goes there. Okay. All right. Okay, so your Waverly Hills is your bucket list, top of your bucket list. Now, I know you guys have worked with other people in the paranormal field. Is there any one particular team or person that you would say, let's just, go out of our way and go have an investigation with this person or meet up with this person, somebody that you've sort of like wanted to since the cows came home, you wanted to go meet up and do an investigation with?
Cara?
Oh, you want me to go? Someone I want, you can go.
Okay, no, so I'll tell you, well, 'cause I talk a lot. Someone that I'll be totally straight. People may not want to hear this or not, but, when I was, given the privilege, and Cara worked her, thanks to Cara that we were able to get on this, but, I got to work with Ghost Adventures and, back in April. And, I would like to work with them or investigate with them. They are so professional at what they do. Aaron, would probably be my biggest, go-to person. Aaron is a great investigator when it comes to, Aaron on Ghost Adventures. But if it's somebody else, it's not. I do have someone that I do look up to that actually got me really kind of like hungry for the paranormal. I would investigate with Scott Greenwald every day of the week. The guy is amazing. He's positive. He knows what he's doing. And that is probably, those two people right there would probably be the people I would, it'd be awesome. Just awesome.
Okay.
Well, and we also in the past we've investigated with Elizabeth Saint. We had a friend of ours actually had her come out and surprise us. We had put together a small investigation for George's birthday a couple years back, and she came and spent the whole weekend with us. So we learned a lot from her. There's a lot of people that I would love to go out and investigate with. I don't have any specific people because there's a lot of people that I would really like to investigate with. I mean, of course, Scott is one of them. He's a really great guy. But there's probably too many for me to list. That we want to get out. That's like what I was saying. We want to get out. Starting this year, get out more and travel more and meet up with all the people that we've connected with on Facebook, and investigate with them and get to know them in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I'm sending you a couple of pictures, George.
With that, oh, I see that. You sent me some photos.
Yep, those are from Eric. That is, oh gosh, I forget the name of the castle. Chillingham Castle. There we go. It took me a couple of seconds to go there. Okay, Brian Clover in the chat room, dear friend, he's down in Australia. He says, please tell me, please, what do you gain from your investigations?
What I gain when I investigate, I gain knowledge. And what I mean by that is when you go to each investigation, every investigation is different. Each building, like I said earlier, is different. So when I leave a building, I gain knowledge of that location. And that's what I gain. And there's nothing better when you walk away and you learn something from an EVP, or you learn something in pictures, or just the fact that you can just be at a location. I love when I leave a location is knowing more about it before I walk into it. So just collecting more evidence.
Cara?
And for me, it's, the reason why I do this is, I want to be able to help, families or troubled spirits. Like if we have someone call us that has something going on in their house, it's like I want to be able to put them at ease, and not so much, because you can't move a spirit on if they don't want to go. So, sometimes, there's nothing you can do to make them leave. So you kind of have to help, you have to educate people on how you can coexist with spirits. And so the thing I gain, it makes me happy when I'm able to, educate, our clients and help them realize that, it's not a scary thing to have a spirit in your house. It's not like the movies. They're not all evil and demons and scary. It's like most of the time, like we had two spirits in our house that they used to live here. So we're happy to have them here. This is their home too. So, I like to be able to educate people on how, you can coexist. Maybe it's a family member that's with you and, they're here to help you. So I like to teach people that, it's not a bad thing to have a spirit in your home or, with you. So what I gain from is, the satisfaction that I can actually help people realize that it is not a bad thing. And, and if I can help a spirit, move on into the light to, be with their family, then that makes me happy too, that I'm able to do that.
Well, I hope that answers your question, Brian. And I
like
Brian,
but remember, Brian, it's not like Scooby-Doo. All spirits and ghosts they're not like real monsters. And that's the problem. Scooby-Doo wrecked it for everybody. Scooby-Doo was, you know what? I remember when I watched Scooby-Doo, I was always afraid, like, oh my God, I gotta figure this out before the dog does. Well, the dog always won. He always won, and I never could beat Scooby. But you know what? That's the problem. Scooby-Doo started this where every paranormal ghost was, it was fake, but at the same time was this ugly monster. And they're not.
Mm-hmm.
These spirits are like Cara said. We live in a house right now that we've been here for a year and a half. 2 people have passed away in this house that we bought, and they're here all the time. We don't. Well, I'm going to keep talking. But you know what? We enjoy what we're living. I told you, go ahead and hit mute. But you know what? You know what? The paranormal are just, they're living. They're not dead. Now, I wish people would really accept it. You know what? Don't be afraid of it. Paranormal spirits are not dead. And I want to, if you really think about that one and accept it, they're just on the other side of the veil. That's it. Our brains and our minds not able to see into the veil unless you train yourself. Or when you see something, or if you see if you see a spirit, or you see a mist, that's your brain trying to function, and you're able to see past the veil. That's just my opinion. And, you know, it doesn't mean it's right, it doesn't mean it's wrong. But, you know, it's, when you see something, it's all of a sudden your brain is so strong that somehow, some way you're able to connect whatever is on the other side of the veil. So spirits are just, they're not dead. They're just someplace where we just can't see them all the time. That's my opinion. Yeah, I'm not so stupid. I'm not just some sprinkle guy. You know what? I don't just talk about, I'm
You're not just a handsome donut eating sprinkle dude. No, we get it.
Oh, Mama D, I gotta get you, you know what, somehow, some way, you know, Facebook's not enough. You know, we gotta get you on an investigation and get you scared. I scream too. I scream like a girl. When I get scared,
yeah, he does.
I do. I don't like being scared.
And he hides behind me sometimes.
Oh!
I do, because it's not, that's Scooby's fault. No, that's Scooby-Doo's fault. Because you don't know, when you go to these buildings, then you're like, oh my God, this you know there's a monster here. So I hide behind Cara. Of course. Of course.
Well, okay, you know, but you know why you do that, right? Have you ever listened when I talk about you on Facebook? Cara is the donut. She is the foundation. She is the base. She is what holds everything. And you are the topping. You are the sprinkles. You are the chocolate dipping. You are the everything on top.
Yeah.
We can change you around, but Cara's always there. She's the power.
I heard that the other day, and I told Cara about it. I said, Cara, guess what, baby? You're the donut, and I'm sprinkles. I love it. You know what? I love it, and that's why Cara and I, you know, of course, we're best friends, and we're married, and we, you know, most couples go bowling, or they go miniature golfing, or they do whatever on a date night. Our date night, actually today, we just went over EVP recordings. I mean, that's our date night. We love what we do. We really do. And that's why, yeah, the donut and sprinkle thing, I love that, Mama D. I love it.
I always find something that fits you. Well, it's like you guys are adorable, and I have to say this because the last time in October when you were supposed to come on, I love this. You went out to look for somewhere new to investigate. You were doing, you know, a search, and then you decided to take your lovely wife out to dinner, and I believe the both of you ate the same thing. Never, ever go to a new restaurant and eat the same thing because y'all got food poisoning.
Yes.
But you know what? I think that was it was a good thing in a way because I've started off 2019 with my donut and my sprinkles.
Yes, exactly. No, I love it. And you know what? That's what's so great. I'm waiting for everybody that listens. I don't care if there's 2 people or one. I'll give you my address. Send me rainbow sprinkles, and we are going to be best of friends. I love sprinkles. Sprinkles are just so damn good.
I know. I saw the. Okay, we all for some reason on this show we always end up getting the food. So here's where we're in the food section. But I saw you made Belgian waffles with sprinkles.
Oh yeah,
yes, I did.
Yeah,
I did. We got a waffle maker for Christmas, so I made George some sprinkled, some confetti waffles with sprinkles in it.
It was good. I love it. You know what? When Mama D, when you go into the grocery stores, and you know what? Bless your heart. I know you're thinking about me, and I know for a fact that video is just for me. But I know I'm wrong. But you know, it's like I pretend that video that you do inside the grocery stores when you go through the the cake section and the.
Oh no, that's where I work, darling.
Oh, well then, damn, I want a video every single day. Because that is like, I think it's for me, but I'll tell you, you know what, when I get sprinkled donuts, I can't believe we're talking about donuts here. I'm like, drooling at the mouth. But I eat the top layer. That's all I eat, and then I throw the rest of the donut away. The rest of the donut's gone. I just kind of slice it right in half, like a bread. Just slide it.
we just had two guests pop into the chat room here. They were looking forward to a really intense conversation with George and Cara. What are we getting? They're getting, as they come in, sprinkles, donuts.
I'm sorry. You know what?
No.
I apologize.
No, see, the thing is, this is, my show's called A Conversation with Friends for a reason. Yes, we get to talk about your abilities, your gifts, your whatever you want to call them, the investigation, but we actually get to sit down and get to know who you are. And this is what I like to do. I like to get to know who Cara and George are. Aside from what we put on Facebook, there are a lot of things that we put on Facebook that we don't get to, understand the background to it.
Right.
People don't understand. People don't understand.
No, they don't. And look at Facebook is pretty bad. I mean, like, some people just don't like me, and that's fine. And we can get to the paranormal because I'm blunt and I'm very honest with people. I don't sugarcoat anything. I just don't sugarcoat. It's either you want an honest friend to tell you, hey, yeah, that dress doesn't look good on you, or do you want me to be your friend and lie to you and say, oh no, let you go out in public and you're going to look like doo-doo. I'm just an honest person, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings. And that's what people don't like about me, I think. When I get people that love me, like me, and then I have people that don't like me because I'm honest. And I'm honest with, I'm just an honest person. I just don't sugarcoat anything. And that's where I'm at.
You are the sugar, so you don't need to sugarcoat anything. So there you go.
Exactly. That's right. Exactly.
Eric Quinn in the chat room says, oh my God, I can see an overload of food porn on the way. I made the mistake one time of eating a donut on Facebook, and I'll never hear the end of it about it being, food porn. So thank you, Eric.
Oh,
no, I'm not eating donuts anymore on Facebook Live. Jeez.
Oh my gosh. I love, you know what? Let's just talk about sprinkles. Who's go on for day, because you know what? It's just, that what makes me happy. Some people like to do it. I like sprinkles. And you know what? I'll eat a donut just like this. Oh, this is so good. Just that donut is mine. It is all mine.
Okay.
I apologize. Just move. Go ahead, you.
No, don't apologize. That's what I said. This is, I love my show because I am the producer, like I said in the beginning. I am the producer of my own show. And if my boss, me, gets cranky, all I gotta do is feed me chocolate and I'll be happy and shut up and sit in the corner.
There you go.
Okay, to all my guests in the chat room, I know y'all are trying to type in, but to type into the chat room, you have to sign up with IntuiTalks. It takes less than 3 minutes, so go on and sign up with IntuiTalks, and then you can join in on the chat and type any questions that you have. So yes, that's another thing. If anybody has any questions for George and Cara, please pop them into the chat room. If you would be so kind as to put them in capitals so I could pay attention and not have my glasses back on, that would even be better.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think that people sometimes get. Okay, Eric, behave. Eric in the chat room says George is Mama D's food porn star.
That's right. There you go. I like this guy. Hey, he's in the you said he's in Australia, right?
No, Eric's in the UK.
Damn it, I was close. Eric, you know what, buddy? You know what it is? This is like Mama D sprinkled porn. That's what it is.
Oh God, Cara, you do deserve a medal and a monument for sure.
It's never a dull moment here.
No, and I think that's what's fun. That's what's great about you guys as a team. That even when I've seen you do Facebook Lives, and George is like, I'm the boss of this house, and you're on the side going, that's because I let you think you are, darling.
No, she is the boss. She's the queen. You know what? And she's, if you can make anybody laugh, you know what? That is like they're butter in your hands. And you know what? That's what's wrong. Like I said about Facebook, and I hate to pick on Facebook, but there's no more fun. We have to all start having fun and laughing. Laughing is so beautiful to laugh, and if you can get that good laugh or you're crying, that's even better. I mean, laughter is the biggest, the cheapest drug you can find. It's going to make you healthy. So, try to laugh.
Yeah. You use so much energy and burn so many calories after eating all those donuts that laughter, it just helps burn them away. But yeah, no laughter. I think Facebook does have its drawbacks. I give it that. But for me, Facebook, I am so glad for Facebook because, I would not have met, all the people that, have come into my life through Facebook. I mean, look, you guys, everybody who's in the chat room, and we have somebody coming in who Cody Ray Debier is typing into the chat. Welcome to the madness, Cody. But like I said, Facebook does have its drawbacks. There is, the backbiting and the negativity, but then those people I just sort of like put on mute. And I've never yet needed to, I think I've done one. I've deleted or blocked, whatever you call it, one person from my life on Facebook. And that was it. I just put them on mute and then learn to, hey, they don't like what I have to say, then y'all gotta stop listening to me. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna be the one to erase people from my life.
Exactly.
Yeah, with Facebook, George and I both last year, we discovered that, we thought in the beginning, we have all these thousands of friends, and so great, but it was all, drama and negativity, and half of these, like the majority of these people, you don't even know who they are. They're probably not even a real person. So we did a major cleaning of our Facebook pages, and I think I went down I had 1,700 friends at one point, and now I'm down to like under 300. And oh my gosh, it was like such a weight lifted off my shoulder. Like, I just kept people that I've actually know, in real life, or I've talked to them on Facebook. Or, it's like I know they're real people. And I'm very, very selective now who I will accept as a friend. And ever since I've done that, there has been zero drama, no negativity on my page, or my news feed, and it's just so much better.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to do this. In the chat room, you have a message that says, hey, Cody and Cara wanted to stop in and say hello. Hope all is well. Cody from Taps.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Cody.
Hey, Cody. I love that. And Cody is a great, great, great human being / man. He's an awesome, awesome brother. And I love that guy. I love him.
So in other words, he would be a good person to have on my show, Cody.
Cody's awesome.
Yes, he would be a great person to have on your show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we'll find him on Facebook, and then we'll have a little conversation if he doesn't run screaming from the room. But yeah, no, like I said, Facebook, it does have its not so good side.
But I do agree with you. Without Facebook, I wouldn't have met. If without Facebook, George and I would probably have never gotten into the paranormal as deeply as we have, because, we wouldn't have met a lot of amazing people. So Facebook, yes, it is good, but then, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But we also discovered some people think that in order to do the paranormal, you have to be on Facebook and like I told George, Facebook has nothing to do with the paranormal. But a lot of people put too much into Facebook. I think that's where a lot of the competition and jealousy comes into play. But everyone just needs to, and I know this will never happen, but people just need to come together and be able to just put their differences aside, cut out the competition, that's not really why we are doing the paranormal. We're not doing it to be famous. We are doing it to help others and to, get answers. That should be why people are doing it. And if that's why you're doing it, then we should be able to work together to come and find the answers together. Who cares? We should all be, promoting and congratulating people on evidence that they get instead of bashing it or trying to one up people. I mean, it's kind of crazy how the last few years that it just has gotten, way too competitive. People are really losing focus, and that's really a shame. I wish people would just kind of tone it down and just get back to the basics and why we are actually doing this.
I'm doing it because I want free sprinkles from everybody. I love the paranormal. I'm trying to, you know what? I'm trying to get free sprinkles from everybody, so I'm going to boost up my friend list. I went from 2,000 people down to 130. I'm going to tell everybody right now, I'm taking everybody as my friend. But you got to send me sprinkles.
Send sprinkles. Cody says he's really sorry that he can't stay longer. Happy New Year. He's got to go. So bye, Cody, and thank you very much for popping in.
Take care, Cody.
Bye, Cody.
It's like we're going to put a new posting on George's page. Do you want to be friends with George?
You know what? Yeah.
Have sprinkles.
I joke. That's how it is. I am exactly who I am on live videos or videos or this is who I am. I'm an open book, and there is no fakery. Fakery. That's not even a word. I'm not even fake. That's a new word, right?
Yes,
I'm just who I am. It's not about promoting myself or promoting anything. I just want to be a paranormal investigator. I want to try to get answers with Cara, and learn how to cross over like Cara does. I don't know how to cross over spirits. Cara knows how. Cara knows what she's doing. And you know what? That's why it's fun, because I'm still able to learn. And I want to keep learning, because the day you stop learning is the day it's going to get boring.
So the day you stop learning is the day you die.
Exactly.
Because then you learned everything you needed to learn over here, and it's time to go over and sort of like have your year-end review, It's like a business.
Yeah, no.
This is, this series is gone, and Eric in the chat room, aside from telling poor Cody to run because our Facebook stalk his ass, he has a question in the chat room for George. When George does investigations, does he pack? I should have said before I asked it. Does he pack boxes of sprinkled donuts?
Yes. You know what? I thank you so much, brother. You know what? But I'm going to. You know what? I'm a caffeine freak. But that's what I'm saying. Everybody's jumping on the sprinkle train, and I love it, man. I love it.
Expect to have a friend request from Eric Glenn Medium on Facebook, and I'm sure he'll send you lots of sprinkles on your Facebook page.
You know what, Eric? You send me a Facebook friend, and I'm going to accept you, but it comes with a price. One sprinkle donut.
Now remember, he gave you the castle. You can't ask for donuts from Eric. He gave you the castle.
That's true. Oh, man. But this is fun, though. I mean, this is a lot of fun. I mean, this is what the paranormal is missing. All seriousness, is the paranormal is our life. It really is. And, Cara enjoys it for what her journey is called for, and that's to help and cross over. My journey's different. My journey is making my own footprints in the sand and finding the answer to how we can connect with the paranormal better than we are now. And, that, like I said, Cara has her own journey. She's doing great, and I'm doing my own journey. But we're doing it together, and we don't, and that's why it works. She supports me, I support her. But the paranormal is a beautiful, it's not a hobby. If anybody ever calls it a hobby, then we need to chat. The paranormal is a calling. And you know what? I do believe it was a calling when I was a child. I do believe that my cancer and radiation and seizures all played a part of what I can do now. Now, it doesn't always connect when I go on investigations, but when it does connect, oh man, it's beautiful because, it's kind of like baseball when you play catch with your friend. The more you play catch, the better your arm is going to get stronger. And the more you play catch, the better you're going to be able to aim that ball to the glove. Well, that's the mistake that I'm doing now because we haven't investigated in a few months. I'm really good. We need to get back into it. Karen and I talked about this last night where, you know what? It's time. We took a few months off because we were so exhausted from investigations. It takes everything out of you. I've had attachments. I've been scratched. The whole 9 yards. And it took a toll on my body. And I do feel that, you know what, Cara and I are ready for 2019. We're ready for 2020. We've actually matured as a paranormal paranormal investigators last year, in the last 6 months. We've matured. And now we feel that we know now what we need to do and how to do it. And hopefully that sounds correct, Cara. What do you say?
It does. It definitely sounds correct. I mean, I always told George that he needs to, because he's very humble and he doesn't like to really talk about what he can do. But I don't want to use the word medium because that is a kind of a big word, I feel, but he can see spirits, speak to spirits, the whole 9 yards. Like I'll give you a couple of examples. We had a friend who works at a museum in a town where I work, and one of the people she worked with had committed suicide, and she was selling his house. So she wanted us to see if George could connect with him, just to see if, he was okay with her selling the house and all this stuff. And so all we had was his name. We didn't know anything about him. So I was just like, hey, George, can you kind of see what you can get, so I gave him his name, and I had a piece of paper and a pen, and he was just blurting out all this stuff like, oh, I forget now, but he said like, who's, Mary, or did he grow up here? Did he have kids? Did he have 3 kids? Were these their names? And like all this stuff. And I was like, I have no idea. So I'm just writing everything down. And so then when he was done, I'm like, I'm going to go like Google this guy and see if I can find anything. So, I Googled his name and his obituary popped up, and every single thing George had come up with was exactly right. And I was just like, holy cow, like, how did you do that? And he's like, I have no idea. And just so you guys know, George is not computer savvy in one single bit. There is no way. He doesn't even know how to Google anything. I have to do everything. So
you know what? I didn't even have Facebook.
He didn't even have Facebook at that time.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for him to come up just with a name was mind-blowing. Like, that was the first time that we realized he really did have some amazing abilities. So then another time is more recent. Our neighbor across the street, they had asked us to come over because the father had passed away years ago, and the mother and daughter still live in the house, and they were always kind of at odds and fighting and stuff. And I don't even know how it came up in conversation, but the daughter had asked if we could come over there, and because she felt like her dad was still there. So we're like, okay, but we don't want to know anything about your dad. We don't want to know his name. We don't want to see, like, when we come into the house, like, put away all the pictures. Like, we want to know anything. And we had only lived here, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so. So we didn't really even know the neighbors. So we were sitting in our living room, and before we went over, George was like, God, he's all, I don't know the name. I think it was Harold. The name Harold keeps popping into my head. And so we went across the street and we walked in the front door, and, you know, he saw a man there right away, and, you know, he was welcoming us into the house, and then we sat down and started talking to the mom and the daughter, and we asked what his name was, and his name was Harold. And, then I think, George came up with another name, which it ended up being the brother's name. And like, then he's like, well, you know, was he in the Army? And he was in the Army. And then he came up with the name of the store that they used to own downtown, which there's no way that he could have known that. And then he said, who's, I think Pina. And the mom started crying, and she's like, that's me. That's his nickname for me. So, we did a little investigation, and they took us into the room where he had passed away, and we did an EVP session in there, and we got an EVP of him laughing, and the daughter was like, oh my gosh, that's my dad laughing. Mm-hmm. So we, I cleansed the home and everything, and when we were about to leave, George was like, okay, he's all, well, I see a man standing at the end of the hallway. He's like, I'm going to describe him to you. So he just started describing this man, and it was a younger version of the father. And as George is describing him, the daughter shows me a picture of him, and it was exactly what George was describing, and he'd never even seen a picture of the guy. So, so we left, and a couple of days later, the mom came over to our house, and she was like, you know, I want to thank you guys so much. You know, we're getting along now. You know, everybody's happy in the house. She's like, but I don't want my husband there anymore. Can you make him go away? So, because when he passed away, she said she told him, don't leave me. I need you, you know, please don't leave me. So he's been there with her, you know, this entire time because she needed him. So you know, I told her, I said, you know, all you need to do is you need to go over there and, you know, tell him it's okay to go now. Like, I don't need you here anymore. It's okay. So she did that, and we haven't heard anything from them about him still being there, and they're getting along great, you know, for this past year. So, you know, we kind of educated them, like I was saying earlier, and I gave them a little package on, you know, with some sage and things, you know, and taught them how to smudge their house and stuff. And so, you know, that was another, you know, thing that George was able to do. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, how did you know? He's like, I have no idea. So he
wow, you make that guy sound so wonderful, Cara. Jeez,
right?
So, you think she's in love with him? Yeah.
You know what? I'm just sitting back eating popcorn. I go, I'm in love with this guy. What the heck? Who is this guy?
But see, those are things that he doesn't ever talk about himself. So you know, no one really knows. And so, like, you know, we have gotten accused many times of, you know, faking EVPs, but I'm like, we don't need to. Like, yes, I do admit we get some very good Class A EVPs, but our, you know, theory is okay, we're positive people. If you're a living person, are you going to want to speak to somebody that is negative or being rude to you? Absolutely not. So why would spirits be any different? Like, you need to treat spirits with respect and, you know, treat them like you would treat a living person. Because I know if someone is yelling at me or being disrespectful or rude, I just kind of shut down and I don't want to have anything to do with them. So spirits are going to be the same way. So we go into every single investigation with a positive, loving, respectful attitude, and I feel that is why we connect so well with, you know, the other side.
But I do, but what you're saying there, and Mama D, if I can say this too, is, again, I have so much respect for the spirit world so much that like I said earlier, I don't believe when you do leave this place, you go to the other side of a veil. I do believe you can't fake your way by being, I'm going to be kind at this location and fake my way and show that I'm positive. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. Mm-hmm. They can sense that, you know what, this guy's full of crap or this lady's full of crap. And that's where people have to understand. You have to be true to yourself. You have to be true to the paranormal. You have to be true because they're not dead. And I know that sounds, they're not. And I just feel like you go to another world. Everybody everybody seems to have their own spiritual, journey. Do they believe in God or not God or whatever it may be? And that's everybody's choice. But I do feel it does start with positivity. I do believe that, the spirits are smarter than us. I do believe that they are able to sense if you're being fake or not. And when we do get EVPs, they are I'm going to say it. They are so sprinkled. They are so sprinkled damn good that it's like, wow, how the hell did we get that? And you know what? And that's what people don't understand. Is it because I had seizures? Is it because I had, radiation? Is it because I had cancer? Does that make me closer to the spirit world? I do not know. But I do feel that, the people I do talk to that have faced cancer or had seizures, grand mal seizures are different. Grand mal seizures are so much different than a regular seizure. They are damn right scary. And I don't remember anything when I had my seizures. Cara was there both times. It may open up something in your mind. It may trigger something that I'm able to use up just an eighth of my brain that a normal human being cannot use. Mm-hmm. We don't know. Science will not stand behind any of this stuff. So if I say right now I'm in my garage and I see a spirit walking around my car right now, well, what sucks is I can say whatever I want to say because there's no proof. You just got to be able to say, look, you know what? It's either there or it's not. And I wish science would somehow or whatever say, you know what? There is something there. Well, let's get to the next level. How can we prove there's something there? We can't call someone a liar because you can't really tell if that person's really seeing a spirit or a ghost, call it, whatever you want to call it. So I love, like with Sarah, I know I jumped off the journey on this one, but I love the paranormal. We both crave it. And we are both on our separate journeys right now. But we're doing it together. She's doing her thing and I'm doing mine. And it works great. We're married. We love each other. We're in love. We're best friends. We do everything. And maybe that's why it works also for us, because the spirits or the paranormal can sense the happiness. And like Cara says, I would rather circle. It's not about the size of your circle that makes you popular or makes you happy. It's the smaller the circle, the less stress, the less drama. I'd rather have a circle of 3 people than 300 people because there's no way in heck you're going to be able to trust all 300 people. And there's a saying by Trent, your friends might be like rooting you on, saying, oh, great job, Cara. Great job, Mama D. You're doing so great with your show. But then you have so many, a circle of people like they're saying all this, but behind you with your back turned, they're drilling holes in your boat. So they want you to sink. So I would rather just keep my circle small where I can keep an eye on everybody. That's just my opinion. And it's worked out so much better for myself and Cara, having our circle a lot smaller and tighter. Not everybody is going to be a cheerleader. You're always going to have haters, and it is what it is. And what you do is you just deal with it and you work. You don't wish any bad on anybody. You just keep on doing what God has sent me here to do, or whatever you believe in. Just keep on your journey, make your own footprints in the sand, and people will follow if they trust you. Or people will, they'll be your friend if they want to, or whatever it may be. I have the highest respect for you, Mama D. What you do for us and what you're doing, I really do. We adore you. And you know what? You're nothing, like you said, you're a beautiful butterfly, like you say. And we could joke around and talk about sprinkles and such, but you're a beautiful, the gut feeling from you is you are this beautiful butterfly, as you would put it. And how can you not think that you're just like a godsend? Why? You were here for a reason. And you know what? And like you said earlier about Facebook, if it wasn't for Facebook, we would have never met you. I would have never known who Mama D is, you know, and the beautiful red hair and, her classy donuts that she sends us, you know, but it's like, you know, it's just, you know, that's where, you know, I love talking. I love talking on radio. I love talking in front of people. We have something coming up in the next few weeks, motivational speaking. I do love talking. But I'll shut up now. But, you know, I wish people would.
He has too many sprinkles.
Yes. The only way to shut him up, give him donuts with sprinkles on it. Got it. Okay.
You know what? I apologize, people. You know what? I want people to really just, you know what? It's just be yourself. You know, just be you. Don't worry about other people. Just be you. Make your family proud. Be you. You know, your mom and dad gave you a name. Be you. You know, you are beautiful. If you're having a bad day, go look in the mirror, like I always say. See yourself in the mirror. See what we see. Look how beautiful you are. You wake up with a pimple on your nose, guess what? It'll be gone. It will pass. You know, it's the same thing. If you have bad news, don't worry about it. It'll pass. You know? And that's what you got to remember. You know, that life we get curveballs every day. Every day we get a curveball. You know, well, you know what? Just learn from it. If you fall down, get back up. If you climb a mountain, you know, it's not a race to get to the top of the mountain. Take your time. You'll get there one day. Okay, now I'll shut up.
Okay, for everybody who's listening now in the live and in the after shows, if you want to get a hold of it's George and Cara Schopplein, Schopplein. On Facebook, they also have Into the Light CA. I think that's it. Yeah, Into the Light CA, or The Power of Positive People. And I know, Cara, you also have I always have trouble with this now, because it's the French in me that wants to go Etsy shop, where you sell your jewelry. And if you want to go see some awesome jewels, oh gosh, I wanted to try and get something before the show, but I didn't. But that'll happen. But there's something that George and Cara, but mostly George because he's always the loudmouth. We love him. But that you started a while back, and I think it's what if.
Yes.
Explain the what if to people.
Yes. Okay. So the what.
Okay, hold on. Don't talk. Something just happened. You just got muted. I didn't mute you.
I hope everybody heard all that.
No, you don't. Don't even start. Start again.
Okay, so a couple of months ago, you know, every so often I get this little brainstorm and I think about just two little words, whatever. And I came up with what if. And, you know, one day I was at Starbucks, and how it came up to me was I was at Starbucks. I go to Starbucks every morning, you know, for coffee before work, whatever. And I see the same individual all the time sitting by themselves and such. Well, you know, I said to myself, I go, what if it just took 2 seconds to just walk over to that person and ask them how they're doing? What if that, you know, that what if you don't do it? And what if they're thinking about taking their life? Or they're talking about maybe doing something destructive to somebody else. So I came up with, I feel I did, but I came up with just two words. What if anybody out there, you see someone by themselves, or if you just say hello to a person, they don't have to be by themselves, and you just say hello. And, you know, what if can be so strong if you just take a moment and say, you know, what if you say this to yourself? What if I just said hello to that person? Could it change their day? You know, what if you're going to save them? And, you know, that's where I came up with it, and it's pretty strong because, oh man, that life is in general. Cara, I'll tell you the story. Cara, she had a friend that just was going through a divorce, and a male friend, of course, and he was by himself, and he ended up hanging himself about 4 months ago during his divorce, I guess. Well, you know, that was so strong and that struck me so hard is, again, what if someone would have just asked him, do you need someone to talk to? What if you just, you know, you went up to somebody and said, I'm here for you. I don't want anything in return, but I'm here if you need to talk. It could change someone's life. So, we try to carry that what if because that what if can be, it can save someone. It can save someone's day or their life, or just, what if it just makes them smile, just by treating them with respect.
Very true. Now, I'm going to make sure that you weren't muted again. No, you're not. One of the things is your what if. One time you had posted something about a what if, and you said, what if you pay the coffee for the next person or something like that. And that day, where I work, the business I work in, it's a convenience store, gas station. And on the other half of the convenience store is your place, your heaven, donut heaven, is the Tim Hortons. And there are hundreds of people coming in and out throughout the day. And I had seen something that you had posted on the what if and BU and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I went over there and I had my last $10 and I bought 5 gift cards at $2 apiece, and that's a medium coffee with tax, awesome. $2 medium coffee. So I said to the girl, all you have to do is just choose 5 people throughout the day and just say it's been paid for. I said they don't need to know who paid for it, just paid for it. And it was fun because she came to me at the end of the day. She says, people were trying to get me to tell them who it was. And she says, I kept your word. I didn't tell them. But there was 5 happy people, just as medium coffee. They didn't realize how much, they do it all day long. They don't realize that little thing helps. I mean, we're on my side of the business, it does. I make sure my motto is everybody who comes into my store, no matter what kind of mood you're in, when you leave, I make sure you leave with a smile.
Well, you know what? And women, you ladies, Cara and Mama D, you two ladies and other ladies around the world, you're in control. A woman could just smile at it. If you really think about this one, what if it doesn't matter what the woman looks like? What if, I always feel like, what if us men are so weak? But if you just smile at a man and you just say, you just give him a quick little smile, what if that's going to change his day? Maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe, maybe this, maybe that. A simple smile can actually change someone's day. A simple smile. What if you just smile at somebody and just said, you know what, just to change that mood of that person, because they could be just having a really crappy day.
Yep.
It's so simple. It's so simple.
And it's true, and it's not just because we're women, because guys do that too. Here's the thing is that one of the times that you were talking on Facebook Live, you were being flirtatious. You were flirtatious G, and I had a friend who was watching the Facebook Live with me, and he says, "Oh my God, what does his wife think?" I said, "She's probably standing there right next to him." I said, because she knows that what he is the way he is, whether she's there or she's not. He's not being. Nope. You're not disrespecting your wife. You're actually respecting your wife at this point, that you show the love that you have, you share. And she's like,
you know what? It's so sad though, because, hi honey, I love you. But it's so sad. It's so sad because, flirting is, okay, maybe I'm wrong and I know I don't have all the answers. Flirting is so innocent. Flirting is not, and I know I could be wrong, and I probably am for saying this, but flirting is it's just not harmful. And I don't flirt without my wife being there, and I'm being, I just don't. But everything I do, Cara knows about.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like, oh my God, that guy's flirting. No, that guy is just being nice.
Can I just interject for a second?
Yes, honey, go ahead.
Unfortunately, nowadays, people think that being nice to somebody or giving someone a compliment is flirting. That's not flirting. Just because you tell someone that they look beautiful or their hair looks nice doesn't mean you want to sleep with them.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, in this day and age, people think that's what people think, and it's unfortunate that you have to be, afraid of giving someone a compliment because they'll take it the wrong way.
Right.
It's true. It's true. Either a compliment or a smile or like you say, people are always like, oh my God, you have to have, a bunch of people in love with you. Yes, I have a lot of gentlemen who love me and want to marry me, but they're all using their walkers to get over to me from the seniors home. So my husband has no worries about it, and how many times do people, in the grocery store. I ran into a couple today in the grocery store, and the husband comes up to me and he says something and he spoke to me in French, and I introduced him to my husband, and he goes, "Oh my God, you have the most amazing wife, but she's the biggest pain in the ass." And I went, "Yes, I am, and he knows it, and your wife is giving me permission to be a big pain in the ass to you." So,
I am a pain in the ass. I know I am. I know I'm a total pain in the ass. But it's something that you just said, Cara, and it made sense. People mistake kindness for weakness, and they also mistake kindness for flirtatiousness. I made that one up. But being kind to people isn't always. People need to get their minds out of the gutter.
And there's not always an alternative, an ulterior motive. There's the word. To somebody smiling at you, or like you're always like, oh, look at that red hair. It's like, yeah, it's there. You're just jealous of my hair because I got lots of it.
Yeah. Oh, you got great hair. You got great hair. Jack
in chat room says it's not. It doesn't. She says, crap. I thought I was irresistible. Turns out people were being just nice. Oh yeah, no, but hold on a second. I have this, here's a little tidbit of information. This show used to have cameras, and I have a dog. His name is Onyx. He's a Shih Tzu. He always used to get to have his airtime. He used to get on every show. He always ended up having his little face on camera. So he thinks he's still on camera, but he decided he wanted to come up on my lap. It's like, so if you hear weird panting, it's not me.
No, it's Cara. I love you.
We'll try to kill you.
I mean, that's not you flirting?
No.
But yeah, no, this is the thing. Everybody thinks when you smile or you're doing a good deed or giving somebody a compliment, there's an ulterior motive. And I have to admit, I'm growing up, when somebody gave me a compliment or offered something to me, there was always an ulterior motive. So it's hard for me to understand when somebody gave you a compliment, just smile and say thank you. And that's what it is. But you know what? There's some dirty people out there. There's some dirty people out there that are just dirty. But it wrecks it for the people people. It wrecks it for people like myself. You just can't be nice anymore because it's taken the wrong way, and it's too bad. So, oh well. I'm not going to change who I am. I am who I am. Exactly. That's not something we have to be. Whether you're doing your investigations, whether you're in a grocery store buying your donuts. Wherever you are, you just have to be. Okay, he's there.
I just deep sighed. I'm in my. You know what? I'm in my garage in my car because we have dogs, and I didn't want to. I could hear Cara talking, and it was kind of echoing. So I'm in my car, and I'm just like
that's
thinking.
where you were. I was wondering.
Yeah, all I need to do is open the garage door. Safeway's like 3 blocks away. I don't care if they're 4 days old.
Donut sprinkles. But no, this is what I'm saying, is that in our field, now here's the thing, is everybody has puts themselves in a category, or other people put people in categories. And I think my category is like when people say, well, what are you? Are you a psychic? Are you a medium? I'm a healer. Because even when you're a psychic or a medium or a healer or an investigator, you're putting somebody's mind, body, or soul at ease. You're removing a certain amount of pain. So as healers, I think that this we learn sometimes the hard way, but we learn that it's a good thing what we do. And when other people out there are kind of like, well, you know what? I used to want to be, I used to want to make sure that everybody was happy. And now I make sure that I'm happy first. My family is happy. And then, my circle works out from there. And if I can't make you smile, then that's fine. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually I'll break you down.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's you're at an advantage because I never put myself first, never. And Cara is opposite. She put, and Cara doesn't put herself first either. She makes sure that the kids are now adults, but we always put ourselves last. And it's just it is what it is. I'd rather see other people happy and such. Just like we just did with Christmas. It's like, what do we need for Christmas? We have everything. If we need something, we'll go buy it ourselves and such. But no, I hear what you're saying,
Mama. But in that respect, you did put yourself first because you have everything that you need. And the thing is, unless you put yourself first, you won't be around to help the kids and the neighbor across the street and everything else. So it doesn't mean, because some people think, oh my God, putting yourself first, that means like I'm going on a wild vacation. I can't afford a wild vacation. Putting myself first means making sure that I pay my bills. That the roof is over your head, that the food is on the table, that there's sprinkles in the closet for in the pantry storage, that's putting yourself first. And it's not a big thing. Sometimes people think it's such a big thing, and it's not. The work that Cara does when she makes her jewelry. She does it, she does it because it helps other people, but she does it because she enjoys doing it. And doing it makes her happy. That's putting herself first.
And it's therapy for me.
Exactly. It's total therapy for her.
I would come home from a stressful day at work, and like making my jewelry just like kind of rejuvenates me and puts me at ease. I used to do the same thing. I used to refurbish antique furniture, and I would do shabby chic painting, and that to me was therapy. And now I've kind of moved on from that, and now I'm making jewelry, and that's the same thing. So, I do put a little piece of my heart and soul in every piece that I make because it is like therapy for me, and it makes me happy. And so that happiness and positivity goes into my jewelry, and my hope is that that's going to help somebody, whoever purchases my jewelry, that will help them.
Exactly. It's like I have a friend who makes stained glass. She sent me stained glass butterflies, and she makes stained glass witches and whatnot and what have you. And when she sent them to me, I said they're her children. It's like when you make your jewelry, they're your children, because you put a little bit of yourself into each piece you make, and your energy is always positive. And once you put your hands on a crystal, you energize the crystal, you energize the wires that you use to think with your positivity, with your goodness, with your unitness, and when somebody gets that, when somebody buys the bracelet or the necklace, they feel that energy. Yes, all crystals, when it gets, when you buy a crystal or a necklace or whatever online, yes, you do cleanse it, but a certain amount of love from the creator, if they're made not by a machine, but if they're created, handmade by a person, a certain amount of the creativity, a certain amount of the love that the person who made it stays with it forever, because that's what you do. So that is
exactly.
So it's
I agree.
Okay.
And it's the biggest compliment when someone buys a piece from me, or someone recently someone told me who bought a piece from me a few months ago that it's her favorite piece of jewelry to wear. She wears it with everything, and so that makes me really feel good. That people, do actually enjoy it. So, I do, that's like the biggest compliment anyone could give me.
No, because it's a piece of you. It's like as a parent, You are like thoroughly, like we know that our children are the most amazing creations that we have in our lives. But it's fun when somebody comes up to you and says, do you know that your son did this and this and this, and he's such a well brought up young man, or your daughter did this and this, and my God, she's so beautiful inside and out. That is like that's like worth $1 million. You know.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Our oldest daughter actually works for the same company I do, and I hear all the time how great she is, and she's actually an executive secretary for all of the district managers for the bank I work at in Northern California. So I hear from everybody, all the other managers, all the district managers, like how great, you know, she is, and I'm just like, yeah, I did pretty good.
Yeah, well, no, hold on a second. No, but you forgot to tell her this, though.
It was all me.
No, you forgot to tell Mama D, though. Mama D, she didn't finish it. Oh, your daughter's so great. Gosh, she's just like her father.
No, you don't even know who you are.
I know. I'm just kidding.
They actually say that she's just like her mother. But no, it makes me feel really good when I hear you know, people saying you know, how great, you know, she is, and you know, so yeah, and I do feel the same way, you know, with my jewelry. It is like, you know, my child, because it is my creation. I create, you know, each piece, you know, it's something that I think up myself and I make it myself. So, you know, it is like a child.
Exactly. And then there's the Sprinkle Man.
Right.
Well, do you guys have any, okay, we're almost close to the end of the show. Do you guys have, you said you had events coming up?
Oh, go ahead, Cara. You're the brain. Go ahead.
We will be at an event here in California, in Turlock at the Holistic Fair on January 19th. I will have a table there with my jewelry, and George and I are also going to be speakers. We are going to be speaking on you know, how being positive can help you in, you know, your whole life. We do also, you know, add in the paranormal aspect to that, but it's mostly about how, you know, being positive can actually change your whole life. So we'll be speakers at that. We do have a few investigations planned for later on this year. I think we have one in March and April, and I think we also have one in May. So we're starting to book out our calendar. That's what we have coming up so far.
Okay. If somebody wants to get a hold of you for a private investigation, like not one of the big ones, but, you know, like somebody has some issues with their home or their business where they have, how can they get a hold of you?
They can contact us through Facebook Messenger, or my email, it's intothelightca@gmail.com. But mostly people usually find us on Facebook and send us a message that way. Okay, so on Facebook, people, it is George, George, Schopplein, Schopplein, and Cara, Cara, same thing, Schopplein. Check them out. If you have any questions, I'm sure they'd be willing to answer your questions. If you need assistance with your home or something, message them, you know, give them a talk. Here's the thing, this is one thing I find a lot of people forget to do, is like, if you don't reach out and ask somebody, you don't give them the option to say yes or no. If I didn't take the option to reach out and ask George and Cara to be on the show, I wouldn't give them the option to be, you know, to say, no, never want to be on your show with you. You just talk too much.
Oh, gosh. We've been looking forward. But, you know, I will say this, though. Everything that we do is free. You know, that is like some people out there, they charge. We will help anybody for free because it's what we're here to do. It's part of our journey is to help people. And that's what the biggest thing is, helping. And we love it. We've had people call us or call Cara, and we will be able to, Cara could cross over spirits you give her a little bit of information and she'll cross over if you have anything that you need to be crossed over. But everything is free. And you know what? And that's what people need to grasp is, we're here. Our journey is to help. And that's our journey. Not to, so just so you know. So I hope that people do look us up. We're here to help. And, we're all brothers and sisters.
Very true. Well, we're gonna, oh, sorry, dog just shook on my lap. Thank God it's a Shih Tzu and not a Shepherd. We're gonna say goodnight because it's almost over and I still gotta go eat. Especially when all I've been hearing about is donuts.
I'm going. Exactly.
He's hanging up the phone and he's driving over to the grocery store and getting them. Sure. Cara, you'll see him in about 10 minutes back with the donuts. But thank you very much, you guys, for agreeing to be on the show. And again, don't ever go to a new restaurant when you're supposed to be on there. I blame George for that. You're trying to be a nice guy.
It just wasn't meant to be back then.
No,
we were meant to be on today.
Exactly.
Right.
You started off my 2019 with a bang and a bunch of sprinkles.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you so much, Mama D. Thank you.
And you guys are welcome back anytime. And if you do have anything that you want to advertise, shows coming up, investigations coming up, or events that you're going to be at, make sure you message them to me because, unfortunately, I'm a shareaholic and I like to share stuff. So if I see it, I will share it. If I don't see it, I can't share it. So give it to me and I'll share it. And you guys have an Instagram account.
Yes, we do. It is IntoTheLight_CA.
There we go. So IntoTheLight_.ca on Instagram.
Well, there's no dot. It's just IntoTheLight_CA.
I got the dot in my head. So
you got sprinkles on your brain.
I got sprinkles on my brain. Actually, I've got poutine on my brain, but that's okay. That's a whole other conversation. So follow them, like them, go shopping in Cara's Etsy shop, and we will see you next week next week is Dorothy Holder with food readings. You should pick a donut picture, send it in, and see what that says about you. That'll be fun. All right, y'all. Everybody behave yourselves, be good, and remember, if you see a butterfly around, it's because I'm telling you to smile, and if it's not me, it's somebody else who deserves a smile. Y'all be good.
All right, Mama D.
Night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.